Hey now.
What's good, people?
What's going on?
Got some beautiful vocals, you know. You didn't
know when people
expect
be
that.
singing areas mug. Hey now, hey. It's like 2% voice.
Hey man, we out
Anyway,
here. This is
we
Wise
out here.
Conversations. I'm Felix like the cat.
Can't like the country,
And
and
we
we
here.
are the wise. I'm kidding.
The Wise family. The Wise guys.
Hey, wise guy. Hey, what you think about that wise guy?
Hey, don't be a wise guy. Yo.
Bro, just letting y'all know, it's a bird out here out for vengeance. So if y'all hear screeching like somebody want to like fight someone,
Hey, nah.
it's that bird. It's the one. I don't know if y'all got these birds near y'all, but it's like gray with them little white feathers.
Yep. I feel
They
like
got
a lot
white
of people,
stripe,
especially
and
if
it's
you're in
like-
the South, like
It was fighting a big bird one day. Like
for-
me and my friend, we were
yeah, I
driving.
remember. Yo,
Oh,
it
actually, my friend was you. Never mind.
Yeah, your
My
best
memory.
friend. Your best friend.
My best friend.
Man, we here. But yeah, no, that bird is out for blood.
Yeah.
Our cat probably got up in one of their nests.
He's
and they
one of the
really,
ratchet ones.
Yeah, he's one of the
He's
like.
not my cat. He was his friend's cat, and then they. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was kind
all
of like that
the-
episode of like Patrick and SpongeBob having to take care of the clan.
Facts. And I ended up taking care of him for life. Like no swat. But yeah, man, what are we talking about today?
All right, guys, we're going to give you a little. Okay, let me know if you can guess what we're talking about. Hey, yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Get it? Outcast?
Yeah, Outcast. Oh, wow. That's funny. Because I ain't going to lie. I forgot for a second. I was like, what are we talking about for real, though? Like, looking at
talking
you,
about?
like, concerned. Nah, this is about not being afraid to be an outcast.
Yes, sir.
Or like they call it, did they say the black sheep?
Oh,
that
I
a
thought
thing?
you better say so. I was like,
Nah,
dang.
this ain't that type
It's
of show.
not that type of show.
So.
No, yeah. Like, well, I guess
No,
you can
I
say,
guess we'll just say
you can say
outcast.
black sheep.
Like
Like
the
people will be
black
like,
sheep.
oh, I'm the black sheep of the family.
Right.
So that is actually
yeah.
a thing.
Right, yeah. So
So
if that's how you can resonate with it, yeah, we're talking about that as well. And just to come out, you know what I mean? It's just like I don't know if this is the same for you, but especially when I was growing up, I definitely felt like the outcast or the different family member at times, the different classmate at times. And I just never seemed to really fit in a mold, like a solid mold. Like I grew up in sports. You know what I mean? I did band and stuff like that. I had certain classes, certain things, certain groups that I was a part of. But I never seemed to really fit in that athletic mode or that scholar mode. You know, definitely not the scholar. Definitely
yeah, we
not
had
that.
math class together, and he was trying to peak. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was focused on something else.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was talking about my actual homework and papers, but
Praise
okay.
God. Praise God for
Cool.
for his grace. No, I was her beauty, her hair, she sat right in front of me, so
yeah.
No, I sat in front of you because you
And
were
then I
playing with my
eventually
hair.
sat. Yeah, then I sat in front of you for a little bit, and then I started standing behind you.
Yeah.
And then I would play with his hair because it was really long.
Yeah, it was
then.
long hair, man. It's two of them now.
Can you hear them?
Low key.
Good
yeah,
night.
yeah, but
Guys,
it's
we're
all
so
good.
sorry for the birds.
Hey,
anyway.
man, hopefully they're not cursing in their bird language, or we're gonna have to bleep them out. But so what about you? What did you feel like the elephant in not to? That's completely different. The giraffe in the room.
The giraffe. I was definitely the giraffe in the room.
Yeah.
No, bro. Okay, I think we all know this term, but this was a term that I was labeled with for like 95%. Well, yeah, 95% of my life. Miss Oreo.
Wow. Oh man.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let's
That
talk
moment
about
when
it.
people thought black people only need to listen to like hip hop rap and only
man.
dress a certain way.
Mm.
And I was a rock girl. And I was like, well, I never not meant to brag. But anyway, but no, that was me though. Like I love like pop music. I really love like folk. I love country. Like, and I like, don't get it twisted. Like I will listen to me. Well, my parents didn't really let me listen to a lot of
hip hop.
Yeah,
because
it was
stuff,
like it was a little crazy back in the day. But
it was yeah, especially like when it got more gangster rap.
Yeah, not that gangster. Yeah, so like I was definitely an outcast, especially within my family, because it's like they would be like, "Hey, Hannah Montana, hey, Barbie,"
no, that's insane.
And it was just like it created such a deep identity crisis within me where I would listen to like Lil Wayne and Drake like it was homework. Like, okay, I'm gonna pull this.
You studied the lyrics?
I studied the lyrics, so when they played it in the car, I can be like, yeah, tell me, like, you know, yeah, I'm black.
Tell me what's really. No, that is insane.
I was practicing to pass the black
pleasure.
exam.
You did it for.
I ain't gonna cap. All my passwords back in the day was I love Drake 98. I really did love Drake.
It was like you trying to pass the bar exam.
No, but it was me trying to pass the bar exam.
The bar exam. Bars, yo, that's crazy. Man.
Oh my gosh.
This is the best podcast
yeah,
ever.
I know. We out here. But no, seriously, like I would do that, and then like I would secretly watch like black movies and stuff, because like, you know, I wasn't allowed to watch Friday. I wasn't allowed to watch. Yeah. So it was like, dang. And then I'll sneak on like BET. You know what I mean? 7 p.m. on Fridays. Y'all already know what it is. Anyway,
106 and pop.
Yeah, but I would just like try so hard to be black, even though I was black. And yeah, so I tried to prove myself so much within that. But then I kind of gave up. By the time I was like maybe in 8th or 9th grade, that's when I found Afropunk. And then that's when I realized, like, bro, I can be black and like rock. I can be black and like to wear pink hair, but in a rock way. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and then, you know, Willow Smith start coming out then, SZA start coming out then. And so it was like during that time, I like start to find people who are more like me. Yeah. And I realized, I was like, bro, like I'm actually good. Like, you know, in the moment that I stopped trying to fit in with like this, like I don't want to call it stereotypical, but that the mainstream black culture and stuff like that, like it was a moment that I start to find true friendships and like really felt good in myself, and I was confident and everything, and it was the best thing. And so it was like me and my friends, we would listen to the same music, and at this point like I switched over to like listening to like a lot of alternative hip-hop and stuff. When I say alternative hip-hop, it's like hip-hop that's like kind of mixed in with like a jazzy sound and stuff like that, so it's like ooh. But yeah, so it was a lot of that, and I don't like that wasp.
Yeah, that wasp. Go
away. Go find a flower to sip on. Away. Anyway, but I'm gonna just ignore it, because I mean, even if it bites me, whatever.
We're doing it for the podcast.
Well, we're gonna do it for the vine. Oh well.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, that and I guess that's probably why, you know, in music, I really gravitated towards Outkast, now that we're talking about it. But like honestly, like the beauty and the uniqueness of Outkast really spoke volumes even to what we're talking about, because you have, you know, Big Boy, which is the hood's favorite, like the MC that the hood would want. Yeah. But then you have Andre, that's the more like creative, like willing to like take artsy,
a risk, like quote unquote. I wouldn't say nerdy, but like the outcast person, right? You know what I mean?
Right, and that's when they really thrived. They had a couple albums before that, and they were good. But as soon as Andre began to really come out of his shell and find his uniqueness, that's when it was like, oh wow, like this is really something, because it also created this like opposites attract thing. Yeah. And, you know, the beauty of being an outcast is that it's not even just that you're in your own world and you're separated from society, but you are the outcast is usually the one that really adds to the society. To society.
Adds dynamic and
it's like
color. The citrus, you know, like how you make some fish and you put a little lemon on
lime on it.
And
you know what's crazy about the lime? The lime is like the outcast of the, you know what I mean? Because it's like you don't usually go and, I mean, of course, certain cultures, they always have limes, but it's like usually with us, it's like a lemon, like, or something like that. So
with our dishes.
Yeah, when you bring the lime in there, it's like it has this distinct taste to
Yeah.
it. And
Mhm.
honestly, it's those flavors and it's that person that usually the one that goes against the grain that actually adds to the grain.
Ooh.
And
Mm.
if you think about it,
Mhm.
that's who we've been able to benefit from. We've been able to benefit from the Thomas Edisons that would not stop. I can imagine that he was separated from society in a lot of ways, especially when you're working on
Mhm.
something that's bigger than yourself
Yeah.
and you're coming to understand yourself that's bigger
Mhm.
than yourself.
Mhm.
So it's just like it's those people that actually end up being the ones that are very well renowned and the ones that we remember, over maybe the majority.
Exactly. And you don't have to fit into the mold. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think what was really interesting is like I went through this struggle for like basically the first like me growing up as a child and even kind of up into my early teens and stuff trying to fight to fit within the mold of like black culture. And of course black culture is so different now. I'm so excited
It's
for kids who
definitely
are like growing up
more
because we have
right.
like, we have Black Panther where people are able to see like, like action heroes, not action, but you know what I mean. Like you're
Superheroes.
superheroes, like you're able to see like that black people can be into sci-fi, black people can be into so
Mm-hmm.
much more than just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's not like this one broad stroke, and you have to fit in this, or you're not black. Or speaking to Hispanic people, you know what I mean, Latino people, like if like
Yeah.
oh if you don't like this and you're not like you're not Latino, or if you don't do this you're not Latino, or if you
Yeah.
don't do this you're not Asian, or if you don't do that you're not
Right.
Asian. Oh, white girl, oh no girl, you can't do that because you're white. It's like to
Right.
break out of that. And I didn't know that we are going to be going into like the ethnicity part of it, but then that was like really my first introduction into being an outcast. And it was so interesting because in high school and stuff, at my first high school before I moved to McEachern and everything, um, it was so interesting because like I was probably the most and like I don't say this like, oh, I'm so popular, but I was like one of the most popular people in the school.
Yeah.
And it was because I can get with the black folk, I can get with the white cats,
Yeah.
and then even the people who would quote say, oh, those are nerds, like I would wrap around with them. Like it was like
Mm-hmm.
I just loved people, and so
Yeah.
because of that, people like they felt that love connection. So
Exactly.
it was like it was just so beautiful where no
Yeah.
matter what class I was in, like I got homies from all over, you know
Yeah.
what I mean. And so it was so good to see like the difference and the beauty within every single person, and
Right.
not being like, okay, because I fit, because I look like this and stuff like that, I have to go to this one group, you know
Right.
what I mean. And
Right.
so, or because I think I'm cool, quote unquote, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I can't talk to these people.
Right.
It's like, no, like there needs to be no boundaries within that. Like
Yeah.
we are the fragrance of Jesus, you know what I
Wow,
mean, to
that's good.
people.
Yeah.
Some to some saving, to some, so it's just one of those things where it's like we have to make sure that we're a sweet fragrance,
Right.
and that we don't block. Because one thing about perfume, or one thing about when you spray a fragrance, it spreads around the whole home. It doesn't just stay in the
Yeah.
kitchen, it doesn't just stay in the dining room, it doesn't just
Right.
like, it will literally spread across the home.
Yeah.
If you have a candle, burning that candle, it brings off a fragrance where it spreads. And I believe that the
Wow.
Lord is like really wanting us to not hold ourselves within compartments, but allow that the fragrance of the Lord to reach all the
Wow.
people so that they can taste and see that the Lord is good.
That is
How can
so
they taste and
good.
see if we're not
How?
if bring the meal? That's why we keep saying come to the table, like within our descriptions and stuff. Taste, we want you to taste and see that the Lord is good.
Yeah.
This is a meal that we're preparing for you. I hope you like it, you know what I mean. You can add
Yeah.
a little salt on it if you want to.
Yeah, a little
You
foot.
ain't gotta eat
You're
everything.
right. You ain't gotta eat everything. And that's the thing. It's like, the fact that it's permeating all throughout the house, even if I step outside my house and I go to
You smell
another
like it.
territory,
Oh my
like they can
gosh.
smell like there's something different about your smell. That
Mm-hmm.
must be from your region or from your country, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it's beautiful, and that's why when when you've been an outcast, that's how you can learn to really touch beyond ethnicity,
Mm-hmm.
that in any ethnicity, any country, you're able to, really kind of learn from each other. And that's what we need to
Mm-hmm.
do as a society is like, instead of building this caste system, which we think we're trying to break out of, but
Mm-hmm.
actually we're building again. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people think, oh, if we push more of our agenda, then you know what I mean, then we'll be accepted or then we'll be equal. But still, that in itself is
Yeah.
building another caste system to where it's like people on the outside will be like, well, if I'm not that, then I can't relate, or I can't,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, or I can't at least understand. And that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Even if you can't relate, even if you can't be in the same shoes to experience, I can at least come to understand. But if we build these walls and we have this hatred in our heart and we have this kind of, really just defense mechanism, we
Yeah.
can never open up and be vulnerable so that we can
Mm.
all
Mm-hmm.
receive and learn, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing about even being an outcast within, even if we're talking about ethnicity, to where it's like I can then go in different spaces and give understanding and receive understanding,
Yeah.
because that's all we need as a people. We need
Mm-hmm.
understanding, we need wisdom. We don't need another hierarchy. We don't need to be,
Yes.
like this or that. It's really just coming to an understanding and forgiving and loving one another. And that's how we're
Exactly.
going to thrive.
Exactly. And I think another thing too is just like what's so crazy about this is like it's like I found myself, like in the world sense.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself and I found a beautiful group of people. We were a
Mm-hmm.
part Felix and I were part of the same friend group. I mean, we've been homies since we were 16. So like then once like I went to college and stuff like that, we were still a part of the same friend group and we're all jiggy
Mm-hmm.
cats,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like hippie
Skaters.
girls, skaters, the
Yeah.
whole nine and everything. And it was so interesting because once I gave my life to the Lord, I rededicated my life to the Lord in 2019 after Felix
Mm.
and stuff. Because when I saw how full of joy he was, I realized that the God, he's a perfect God. And
Yeah,
just
he's perfect.
because the reflection or the mirror might be cracked and stuff, that doesn't mean that what's reflecting is cracked. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was hurt by, different people within the body, and so, but anyway, like I don't have any type of all towards any of them. I forgave all
Yeah.
all of them, and
Yeah.
Lord bless them. But anyway, it was so interesting because I went from finding my crew to coming back to church and then being an outcast again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was very interesting me trying to find my way through that again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Trying to find my crowd, find my community within that. But,
Mm-hmm.
the Lord is just so sweet, where it took time, and it took not being offendable. That
Yeah.
was one thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It took not being offendable. It took loving on people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I'm just so thankful because the Lord has brought us to a community that embraces us and loves
Yeah.
us and
Beautiful.
sees us. And
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that if you're within the same situation that I was in, when I kind of came back into the body and stuff, and you're like, dang, like I can't find no friends, like I feel like I'm different than everyone.
Mm.
I'm a skater, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just want to let you know that like there is room at the table for you.
Yeah. So
Keep
much
hope alive.
room.
Do not hold offense in your heart.
Yeah.
Do not run away from the Lord, because at the
Right.
end of the day, the Lord, he is perfection.
Yeah.
He is perfection. He loves you so dearly.
So
And I
much.
just tell you, like hide yourself in the word.
Right.
Hide yourself in the word.
Yeah.
So that the shield of faith can just surround you at all sides, because when you
Yeah.
read the word, it increases your faith. And
Yeah.
that way, no fiery dart of the enemy being like you are rejected, or you're out, like
You
none of
don't
that will
belong.
hit
Yeah.
you, because you have such a thick shield. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
anyway, you have anything to say on that?
Yeah. It's knowing first that you're accepted and approved by God.
Mm-hmm.
You're accepted
Wow,
by Him first,
that's
and
really
that
good.
exception and that approval will give you the rest to know that I'm secure. Because that's what it feels like a lot of times when you're outcast. You feel like you're not secure. You feel like
Mm,
you don't have a dwelling place. When number one, your dwelling place is in the secret place.
mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
it's hidden. It's not exposed outside, but when you fellowship with God in secret, when you dwell with Him in secret, He says He'll reward you openly. And
Yeah.
and like we said in the previous, I think we said this before, you can't hide difference. You can't hide greatness. You can't hide
Mm-hmm.
the beauty and the light that you bring to the world. And I know a lot of times you can feel like nobody sees you, nobody,
Mm-hmm.
values your difference. But I'm telling you, there's no way. He said, no one hides a lamp and keeps it
Mm-hmm.
under a blanket. He's going to expose you to people that will value it. And that's the beautiful thing, is that God is so good. He won't just give you what you think you want, because a lot
Mm.
of the times we want, to be accepted in certain groups. Like some of us, like,
Yeah, I
we've
went through
tried,
that.
we've tried to get into a certain group. Like, I
Even try
want to
to
be
change who you are to kind of fit
right,
in with them. Like,
right.
okay.
But God knows their intentions, and he
Mm-hmm.
knows, and he's designed, and he's created, like you said, that tribe that's for you, that you can be safe in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to be in certain groups that can literally snatch that difference and that uniqueness out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that uniqueness is what God is wanting to use. That difference is
Mm-hmm.
what God is wanting to use. So if you try to go into another group and try to fit into their mold, what it
Mm-hmm.
does is it robs your difference, and you just look like them.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a unique assignment, you have a specific calling, and God wants to bring you around people that value that see that honor that, and that's able to help and to steward and to help perfect that. And that's what
Yeah.
God wants for you. He doesn't want just a microwave click.
Yeah. Or
You
a
know what I mean?
soup. A
Or
soup every day. How sad.
yeah, he wants flavor. He wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, again, he said he came to give life more abundantly, more
Mm-hmm.
than just the average life. God doesn't want you to live an average life.
Mm-mm.
Some have settled for it, but if you know in your heart that you're called for more, you are. So
That's
don't
good.
settle.
That's good. Mm.
Don't settle. That
Yeah.
that
He knitted you. He knitted you in your mother's womb. So if you have those things within your heart, it's because it was knitted there.
exactly.
Of course, if it's things of the Lord,
Yeah.
it was knitted there, and realizing that you were called, and I was literally just seeing it as Felix was speaking. You were called to be a lamppost,
Wow.
and not a lamppost, but a lighthouse.
A
There we go.
lighthouse. Yeah.
Lighthouse. That's the one that's on the sea, right?
Yeah, a source of light.
A
Yeah.
source of light. And so what's so beautiful about the lighthouse and everything is it shines its light in the darkness. And it might be
Mm,
alone. It
yeah.
might be alone, but then literally sailors in the middle of the night they're able to follow that. And I really
Mm,
believe that the Lord is wanting you who feel like outcasts or just in general
mm.
to be lighthouses, and then through you being a lighthouse it will attract your tribe. It will
Exactly.
attract
That
the
is
people
so good.
that you need within your
Wow.
life, and all you have to do is be still.
Wow.
And like that lighthouse, it's not like on a boat like going throughout the whole sea and
Come
ocean and
on.
everything, but
Oh,
it's
it's
like
not.
that light.
Oh,
But all it's doing is just shining its light. So we just want to encourage you, and just let you know, continue to shine your light. Even
continue.
when people are discouraging you, even when people might look at you crazy or make fun of you, we listen to our voices right now.
Yeah.
That is not your
It's
portion.
not
That is something we're
yours.
going to continue to say on this podcast. That
Come
is
on.
not your
It's not your
portion.
portion.
And we're believing that your tribe is coming. We're believing that you will be able to find those people to be safe.
Exactly.
But your biggest thing, be still and shine your light.
And shine your light wherever you are.
And go out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
go
If
out.
if you are into art, you know what I mean? Go to museums. You never know.
Go.
Or if you're into, I don't know, science and stuff, go to a science fair. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah,
like whatever
science
you're
fair.
into,
Yeah.
start going out.
Yeah, start
Don't
going
just be
out.
a homebody, but just
Yeah.
start going out, and in that way you can start meeting people.
Exactly. It says, let your light so shine before the world so that men can see
Mm,
your good works. And that's the thing. It's like that, and that's the focus, is like focusing on knowing who you are, so that when you go out you don't feel inferior. Because
mm,
when you go out and you don't know who you are, that's when you
wow.
start to feel like, oh man, like you start to kind of, you're kind of afraid. And it's like, oh man, I don't know, these guys are da 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 da. But it's like, when you know who you are and you know
Mm-hmm.
your value, you'll go to these places confident.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where your mindset is, it's not just to receive, but even to give. Because Jesus said it's better to give than to receive. So you're going out thinking, what is one person, even if it's one person that I can maybe inspire and encourage, or of course, if you're going to like maybe a seminar, of course you're going to receive, but even to give to people, don't always think about just wanting to be comforted, wanting to have this, wanting to have that. That's good, but he said, give and it shall be given unto you. That is the principle that Jesus used, and he was successful in it. He gave himself and he received his children back. He gave healing to people. He gave of himself, and in turn, people began to follow him and began to value him. And of course, there were people who didn't value him, but that didn't stop him from his course.
At all.
That's that. And yeah, you got anything else?
I literally don't have anything else except for I just really believe, because we wrote down like a couple ideas and stuff that we wanted to film and stuff, but we just really felt like this needed to be filmed, and I believe that there's someone listening today where you need to hear this and keep going. Be a lighthouse. And we love you, we support you, and we just say keep going, keep doing the works of the Lord.
Keep going in the power of his strength. And if you don't know God, it's just as simple as saying, Jesus, I believe, I receive. Be my Lord, be my shepherd in all of this, be my guide in all of this. And he'll give you himself. You're not alone. God didn't want you to be alone. He didn't design you, like you said, to be a homebody or to be alone. And just know that your time has come. Arise and shine.
Amen. All right. We love y'all.
Love y'all. See y'all next time.
See you next time. Signing off.
Mwah.